Hi, I'm Gabrielle Bullock, Principal and Director of Global Diversity for Perkins+Will, and I'm at the CSI MSR. And I'm here with Margaux Burkholder of Walter P. Moore. And we just completed a panel on changing faces of design. How do you think it went?
Oh my gosh, it was what I thought the room would look like, was about what I expected in terms of we knew we were going into that with a group who probably needed to hear that.
Yes.
And I'm glad that that is a demographic that we got. And they seemed pretty captive. Most
Yeah.
people were listening, and I saw a lot of head nods, shaking, some note taking. That made me feel good that it wasn't on deaf ears that we were talking about all this.
And I think, and we don't usually get a lot of questions, but certainly we get comments after, and people come up to you and say how much they enjoyed the comments and the information. And I think it's the information and how to share what organizations like Walter P. Moore and Perkins+Will are doing. How can we share that with others so that they can do the same? I do think that it became clear to them today the financial impact on our business around EDI. And that, frankly, if you don't get on board, you're going to be irrelevant.
You will be. That's exactly, oh my gosh, I've been saying that for the last couple of years because I realized as I was moving through my career, head down, engineering, just become a good engineer, and then you wake up and realize that that's just one bit of what we do. You just being a designer is one bit of how we impact the narrative, and that if I wanted to be relevant in a career, long-lasting in this industry, I needed to be able to do a lot more than just be a good engineer, and it's initiatives like this that matter, that we have to make sure we understand.
Yep, and I think that the projects that we highlighted were the clients that we highlighted who are on board with more than on board with this are actually demanding it, and so I think it's almost a third-party endorsement, right? It's no longer just the good thing to do.
Right. And that people's ears perk up at that when they see that there's a financial incentive now for clients to work for you, with you. They're not going to pick you if you don't embody this conversation. And people listen to that for sure.
So I know we asked this question of each other on stage, but what are you really excited about in the future?
Well, let's see. I think I'm excited to see where it takes me, just the industry in general. I know it's going to be hard. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. The nerves take over the excitement when I think of how far I have to go, how much career I have left, how much energy it's going to take to keep going. But I think it's finding those passion projects. For you, it was EDI. For me, I think it's going to be this sustainable design. It makes me feel like I actually can put some positive, purposeful change into what I'm doing, and that matters. I think more and more people don't want to just do a job that gets them paid. They want to feel like they're impacting a community. They want to do something with social good and justice, and that sustainable part makes me feel better about what I'm doing. And I think I'm also just excited to see the only one in the room start to dissipate. I hope we don't have to do panels like this in 10 years. I hope so.
I hope not either.
Yeah.
I'm excited by sort of what you just said.
Yeah.
All of the core values of what we all want: design, sustainability, resiliency, social equity, diversity. All balled into one, into this design and engineering industry that we have that impacts all of that. And so if they can all be on equal footing in terms of importance and value, and our profession will be light years ahead.
Yeah, I remember when we were practicing for this, you made a couple comments that stood out about the stars are all starting to align in terms of these initiatives all starting to be not just one party's initiatives, they're everybody's, and that there's kind of this tipping point that will happen, and hopefully we'll see things, that momentum just like carry us through to a place that it's much easier to make the change happen. So And I do think it starts with almost grassrootish talks like
Yes.
today, when you've got a small room that's pretty engaged and like I could see all their eyeballs and all their faces, you know, I can see if you're watching me or not. And I think it starts with small groups, and hopefully it does get to the point where they're like, oh, we've heard all this before. I don't need to hear you say this anymore. But you never know. There could have been 2 people in that room who've never heard this discussion, and that's how you change it. I don't know. I'm sure it felt good for you to get that question about, okay, real talk. I live in an all-white community. All the resumes I get are white. What am I supposed to do about that? And I thought that was like, if we could have planted that question, we didn't, but it was, that's exactly the mentality. That's what you want, is that next step of them saying, all right, how do I deal if what I'm getting is not naturally solving the problem? What do I do outside of it?
Well, and I
that was
think
good.
that points to the real focus that will make impact. It's not only seeking to be more diverse in your organizations
Yeah.
by the numbers. It's, if you can't, then help build the pipeline for the rest of the industry, and that we all can't, we're all not in a position to solve every piece of this puzzle, but we can all take one little piece of that puzzle and focus on it to make the whole thing work and better.
That's right.
Thank you, Margaux, for participating in the Changing Faces of Design with me today.
Gabrielle.
I look forward to us doing it more often. Thank you for watching CSI Studio.